Okay, so this is a video that wasn't necessarily a part of anything I had going on for video plans for the next upcoming weeks, and it clicked in my mind like, hey, you remember all of those leaks for RE4 Remake? Go all the way back into like late or early 2022, work all the way up until now and figure out which ones were right and wrong. This is honestly going to be a fun video to make. There's definitely a lot of content creators that drop these kind of videos, including myself. So I went back to every leak video, well, not every one of them, but most of them, wrote them all down, all of the leaks I should say, and saw which ones were real and fake. Some of you won't be surprised at the results, but some of you will. By the way, this is the second time I had to record this. My audio ended up crashing when I was editing the video, and now I have to re-record this. So one of the very first few leaks that was circulating the community way before the remake was announced was the Wesker concept art DLC, which definitely turned out to be legit. From the outfit, the flaming arm, etc. Plus, when you look at the concept art files in the game for RE4 Remake, Wesker's art is not there whatsoever. So ultimately this was legit by the hands of an Albert Wesker voice actor, DC Douglas. Count one for real. This leak is talking about expanded roles involving the Merchant and the Chainsaw Man coming from Dust Golem. I guess you could say the Merchant was kinda legit with the training bonuses and dialogue, but that was really it. Also the charms as well from the shooting range. Dr. Salvador, however, no, he was the exact same as the original in terms of roles. The next leak is something that genuinely blows my mind, and it's that Claire was going to be in the game. Yeah, for probably a second during the flashback, and her appearing at the end of the game was bogus even with the DLC out. And I wanted to quickly say, I'm not making this shit up. I promise y'all this was stuff that made a lot of YouTube videos and got hundreds and thousands of views. So I guess you could say 2 real, 2 fake, or 1 real, 3 fake. I'm going with 1 and 3. They also said Infinite Darkness was going to play a role into RE4 Remake. I'm pretty sure that was false because I saw nothing. You could say the original did too because all the endings were the exact same. The only thing that was different was that the ending for the remake damn near confirmed RE5 Remake. So that's 4 now. Release date, however, was legit. They said the announcement was going to be around mid-2022 with a release in 2023. So that's 2. Next was lore connections involving RE2, 3, and 8. Number 1, obviously Shiv was going to connect with RE2. We are in the remake timeline, and this is a continuation to 2 Remake. Marvin's knife was one of those lore pieces. RE3, I don't remember anything involving that, and RE8, absolutely not. I remember nothing as well. The mold and Las Plagas are 2 completely different things, so I'll give a point to RE2 being real, but the rest of them being fake, so 3 real, 6 fake. Next one was next gen only. Now, it kind of was, but PS4 had it. Xbox One didn't. So it's a little half and half. I'm gonna go with 7 fake. You could change between first and third person. That's fake. Photo mode, I'm sure we wanted and guessed all of that. I'll give it 4. Optional costumes, I mean, these sound like very simple and easy guesses, granted. Mercenaries, Separate Ways, and Assignment Ada are all back. Well, not all of them, and hell, even the launch day, none of them were even there. So I'm glad Mercs was free though. I'll say 9 fake, 6 real now. Game will be considered longer and bigger than the original. I mean, it felt like the same in duration, I'm not gonna lie. So I don't know, I'm gonna leave that one out. The point shop from RE3 and RE8 is coming back. That was correct, I'll give it 7 real now. We move on to a next batch coming from 4chan. Luis's character was reworked and expanded on. That was correct, that's 8. Ashley got reworked and expanded on, developed to the point where she was helping Leon fight. I'll give it 9 real now. The next one said that Sadler was going to be in more of a scientist role and not be the final boss fight, hence his spider form. I mean, it was, but there was another form to it afterwards. But nonetheless, he was still the last boss fight, so I'll give it 10 fake. Next one said 3 bosses were cut, and one of them being a quick time chase down event. I'm ultimately assuming that is the Salazar statue, but that wasn't really a boss fight. But of those 3, I'm assuming from the main story, it was the U3, the 2-Path El Gigante, and the next one I'm not being too sure about it. I'm actually going to give this one 10 real now. The next one stated that Separate Ways and Mercenaries was making the game, but Assignment Ada wasn't. That was true, so I'll give 11 real now. Now the next was what seemed like actual legit info because it clearly had something to do with the beginning of the game having to take place at night, and when we get into the game that's what happens, so I'm going to say 12 real. A lot of other things were just recapped about before, but there was one being interesting stating that Separate Ways was going to either be a part of the main story where you can switch to Ada, or it being DLC. I'll give both points of 1 being real and 1 being fake. So far, this is all from early 2022 before the announcement of the game. And we currently are at 11 fake and 13 real, which is actually very interesting. This is from a lot of sources though, not just one consistent one. Also, there was another one saying that it was going to take place over multiple days rather than 24 hours of what the original was. And to some extent it was true, because it was night when we got to the village, sunrise by the first attack, nighttime when we got to the castle, and probably was daytime inside the castle, and night during the island part, then sunrise again at the end of the game. So that I'm gonna go with 14. Now we entered a gap as to where we did not get any sort of leaks for a while, and this was around the time where the game was announced. But afterwards, everything went to shit in terms of leaks. Cause I'm going through all this more real than fake stuff as of right now, and this was around February 2022. Now we fast forward all the way to June, where the game got revealed, and again, a couple weeks after that, everything got crazy. And in case any of you guys are wondering, I'm going all of what one specific content creator did, and it was Evil Blitz. This is no disrespect or no diss towards him. He covered everything possible about this game, from leaks, details, info, and everything else. So shout out to Blitz for helping me make this video with the videos he made, because if he didn't, I probably would have forgotten about 90% of the stuff. I just realized I went through one of his videos and it was damn near the exact same as another video he posted. But you know what? I'm not going to think too much of it because I don't want to cause no drama whatsoever. It was just a recap of Luis's expansion and Sadler's Scientist route, but now we go into July. Now again, there wasn't much, but there was one specific rumor / leak that got the whole community in a chokehold. It was Krauser cut from the remake. Actually, I just want to quickly say I missed out on a video that had way more leaks, and I didn't realize how inaccurate they were. I will go through them, but I didn't realize that I missed them until I finished this script, so here we go. The gameplay is very similar to RE4 Remake, and the dodge mechanic is replaced with a parry mechanic. That was correct. Ashley hides in special safe rooms and lets Leon fight BOWs, and when done, he goes back to that room to get Ashley. False. The merchant remains untouched but is replaced with a Spanish accent. That was false. Luis replaces Krauser's role by kidnapping Ashley, then later on treating Ashley and Leon for their infection as a sign of grief for what he did. Right around where Luis ended up dying in the original, he has a very powerful plaga inside of him that makes him mutate rapidly, losing control of himself, and he asks Leon to put him down for good, and Leon proceeds to do so. A similar plaga is used for the Garradors. False. Salazar is no longer a little person and is frail, sick, and has a cane for walking. False. Leon collapses due to a plaga infection, and Ashley picks up his handgun to find medication for him and herself after being pursued by a Verdugo. False. Before you meet her, Ada helps guide you through the maze using a laser projectile to help you detect enemies easier from coming out of bushes. False. The island is converted to a laboratory. False. Ada goes into an Apache helicopter with Wesker on board. False. Luis replaces Krauser as a playable character in Mercenaries. Fake. Night section of the village lasts longer. True. The Novicidors were cut due to performance problems with previous gen consoles. False. Salazar boss fight is different due to his left-hand Verdugo being killed. To an extent, this is actually kind of true. When we fight Salazar, there is no sight of him because he is dealing with Ada and later evolves into the U3 BOW. I'm actually going to give a point to Real. Upgrade systems and weapons are the same in most return to the game. True, and that's it for that part. Next batch of leaks contains something about the hook band being in the game within the castle area. That didn't happen, so that's fake. Next one was being able to play as Ashley at the beginning of the game like a prequel demo before actually playing as Leon. That was fake. Next was the 8 new enemies, which one of them included to be a giant spider. That was fake. There was another one involving this giant spider, but it was Salazar's pet spider. Hella gigantic too, and that was fake. There was also another leak that said there was a jester-like enemy that was going to chase you through the sewers with a spear. There was nothing involving that, and apparently it was going to replace the sewer section with the Novicidors. Next leak was a lot of stealth. Funny enough, I just did a challenge video about getting as many stealth kills as possible, so go check that video out. And yes, this one was legit. Next leak said that Dr. Salvador was going to be a much taller enemy and act as a stalker throughout the game. Now the height was true, we see a height difference in Salvador compared to the other Ganados, but stalker enemy? No, so one real, one fake. Next about Salvador was that he was going to appear in the Luis cabin fight as a boss. To an extent, there was some truth to that, but it wasn't Salvador. It was one of the newer enemies known as the Brute, so I'm going to give this point a fake. Next one was the Bella Sisters will be cut. That wasn't true. Albert Wesker is going to be a boss in the game. We all knew that would have been a weird and crazy change, but it was fake nonetheless. The next leak said there were 2 forms of the Sadler boss fight, being his human and spider form. Now granted, there were 2 forms, which was actually after the spider form. So I will give a point for being real, but also a point being fake. Next one was mini-story DLCs for each character. That was fake. It was just separate ways, which was obviously keys to the story. Next was the demo release date being before 2023, which that was fake as well. It came out a few weeks before the remake came out in March. Now this one was a little interesting. This is a new list. The first was the Bella Sisters being in the mines led by Dr. Salvador. Now granted, this was kind of true because you are with Luis, and again, Dr. Salvador is there. Then after you beat him, a Bella Sister was there as well. So to some extent this was true, so I'll give the point to Real. Also, they said Salvador was mutated, but that part was fake. But I'll give this guy the benefit of the doubt for now. But there is an extent to that fakeness. The leaker stated that he will come back more and more and later evolve into the Super Salvador from the original, so I'm giving it a fake point as well. Also, this is a leak that I forgot to mention back then, but it's about Del Lago. Is that it was the exact same as the OG but limited spears, but it was actually unlimited, so I'm saying fake again. Also, Chief Mendez being a stalker throughout the house area, that was fake. Granted, the house expanded as literally only an attic where you can find an antique camera, that was really it, and triggered the big ass dog side quest. Next one stating was that there was only 2 Garradors in the game. There were 3, like normally, and apparently those 2 Garradors wouldn't die. That's 2 points for being fake, I don't care. Next one was about the U3 being redesigned and acting very similar to the baby in RE8. That was fake. Solving a puzzle to a bigger area and having nitrogen tanks there. This is actually kind of hilarious because the nitrogen tanks were for the Verdugos, and one of the Verdugos evolved into the U3. He was kind of cooking here, but then a grease fire ended up happening. 2 El Gigante fights were cut, and 1 remained in the village. That was wrong. We saw the other 2 with the lava underneath. The Bella Sisters won't appear until the mining area. Wrong. Next was Krauser's redesign being a black sweater with tactical gear. It was damn near the same as the original, so wrong again. The regenerators will have 4 or 5 different variants. There were only 3, 1 being normal, 1 being the Iron Maiden, and 1 being this bonus enemy you had to kill as a side quest. The Salazar boss fight will be similar to the Moreau boss fight in RE8. This was true. He spat out liquid that damaged you and moved around really similar to Moreau. I believe that was accurate. No Visitors have been cut. Wrong. Salazar's statue remains in the game but isn't the movie statue we all knew about. This was true. Leon is in a pitch dark area in the castle and has to rely on his flashlight, solve a puzzle, and avoid an enemy with the hook. Basically saying that the Hookman was back. That was fake. Luis being a boss fight in the game, that is hilariously fake. When you become Ashley in the castle, you are equipped with a handgun. Lies. Wesker will make an appearance in a helicopter. Fake. Now to go back on the Claire leak, she was supposed to go into the game, and also an underused character was returning as well. That was fake. It was all from IMDb, which is an easy edit website. Never take that serious. By the way, that underused character was Elena Harper, who didn't meet Leon until RE6, so no sighting whatsoever. Lisa Trevor was also rumored to be in the game. That was fake. One of the more sillier leaks of all time. You guys are now starting to notice that in the beginning there was a lot more legit than fake stuff, and now we get here and 95% of the stuff I'm talking about right now is fake. It's not a good look. And again, I'm not talking out of my ass here. I didn't come up with any of this. This was quote unquote leaked and rumored stuff about this game that was posted on several YouTube channels. Now let's get into another set of leaks. JJ the big minigun guy will be cut. This was true. He was replaced with a brute that had a turret mount on his arm. 3 playable sections, 1 for Leon, Ada, and Luis. Wrong. The game will include the guard mechanic from the Ethan games and the dodge mechanic from RE3 Remake. All of it was wrong. It was a crouch mechanic where you can dodge things and a parry mechanic. That's 2 points being fake. Verdugo, Dr. Salvador, and the village chief are all stalkers in the game. I'm genuinely kind of losing it right now reading all of this. That's 1 fake point. Verdugo can turn invisible. My goodness, man. Chief Mendez will call upon villagers to hunt you down. No. Dr. Salvador will have a boss fighting the island where he is fully mutated. Fake. Leon will have a chainsaw of his own against Dr. Salvador. What the fuck am I reading, dude? Ashley being able to defend herself with small melee weapons. Ashley is not Moira Burton. The next reflects on Luis's character expansion and also having a flashback with his grandfather. If anything, we saw pictures, but that was it. I'll say fake again. RE4 Remake will have a crafting mechanic. That was true. The island will have a more horror approach and less action. I'm not gonna lie, this is a little bit of my personal opinion. I think it was a lie. There is still hella action there just like the OG. Krauser will not kidnap Ashley in the remake. That was a lie. The Del Lago boss fight will be very similar to Moreau in RE8. Not even close. 2 demos will release in January 2023. A Village and Ashley demo. Wrong. Now we move on to the next batch, and again, these were all posted and whatnot. Krauser is said to be in the game but aids Leon in chapters 4 through 5 of the island chapters, and will be playable in an RE4 Remake demo. Fake. That demo was supposed to be released a month after the video was posted. It was in September, we got nothing in October. 5 enemies were cut. No Visitors, El Gigante, Snakes, Regenerators, and JJ. 4 of these enemies made it into the game. Let's add 4 points to fake. 3 demos before the official game releases. They all feature one part of the game, hence being the village, castle, and island. False. After Luis's death, he gets a side story as to where it reveals he didn't die. False. 11 costume DLC packs containing OG outfits and other ones. This could be real but also fake, so I'm going to leave this one out. Never mind actually. Leon's RE6 outfit, Ada's RE8 outfit, and others were supposedly leaked. Give that point to fake. Also, Ashley was supposed to get a Claire costume that didn't happen. You get 3 playable demos with Ashley before she gets kidnapped, Luis is the scientist or researcher, and Leon after RE2 Remake. All turned out to be false. The Krauser and Leon knife fight is cut from the remake and is replaced with Sadler possessing Luis and fighting Leon with a knife. There was a lot of people that was eating into this shit. There were also fake demo releases before and after the October Resident Evil Showcase in 2022. I'll give 2 points of it being false. I really don't know if I'm going to include this part, but I might as well quickly recap what another YouTube channel was covering. Other leaks about this game, I should say, and I gotta say, it was beyond ridiculous. That genuinely made me laugh. A lot of, quote unquote leaks. After you face the first El Gigante, you will be facing 52 more in the game. The Executioner from RE5, yeah, that big fucker with the axe with the needles in his head, is going to kidnap Ashley instead of Krauser. Also, Salazar is Lady D's brother. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry, man. That was too funny. I know you guys didn't hear me laugh, but I was laughing for about 40 seconds straight. Listen, that wasn't me or Evil Blitz that posted that shit. It was someone else. You guys see the counters for fake and real leaks. I'm not counting the last batch of leaks whatsoever because that shit was too funny and too silly. But you see a clear message here about how many were real and fake, and this should be the approach I believe to other Resident Evil games in the near future.
That we have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
But listen, I'm just posting this video for a really good and clear message to just not believe everything you see on 4chan and Reddit, even Twitter as well. I promise you guys on my YouTube channel, everything I was talking about was on YouTube videos phrased as leaks. If anything, these were rumors and will be forever. Some will be real. Vast majority, I should say, will be fake. If y'all enjoyed this, leave a like and hit the sub button for more RE content in the near future. I'll catch y'all in my next video, man. I need to calm down from laughing so much and just, play some peaceful games. So, peace out and much love, everyone.